we have the door is open to present this anywhere. Maybe this is just for public consumption and things like that. But the Supreme Court did make its ruling, and that was final. We have a president in place. I don't think we can ever go back on that particular issue. So this can be actually dismissed as hot air, just like you said, because when you're looking at it, and I don't think anybody expected that we'll be having this, much difference in regards to the numbers, 57% to 41% rather. That's a big difference, considering the fact that in the election itself, we just had a margin of close to 200,000 votes. Yeah.
It's interesting, really, when you look at it in that sense. Anything again that we have on the Daily Nation?
Now, this is the thing. I think this one is going to be, you're going to love this. Now, 4 families own more than 22 million puares. Now, listen, this is a story on page 14 of the Daily Nation. Oxfam says the 4 super rich persons who have not been named have a combined wealth of 333 billion, which is more than what 22 million poorest Kenyans, now the bottom 40%, own. A different Oxfam report in January last year listed Sami Noshad Merali, Biji Depasha, na Jaswinda Singh Bedi and Kenyatta family as top 4 richest in the country with a combined wealth of 311.7 billion. That is a story on page 14. 4 families in the, these are the people that run the country.
When we see headlines, the deserving headline for that, Amwai, is who owns Kenya?
These are the people that
4 own what, 22 million. That's close to half of Kenyans, isn't it?
Now, listen, when I saw the 4 families, I thought maybe these are names that are I'll actually recognize, but I think 3 of these I have no idea who they are. Apart from the Kenyatta family, that is.
Would you like to do, I guess?
So, to some extent, the billionaires and the dynasties do not shout, do they?
No. Oh, yeah. I was telling the same thing to Ian Ketani this morning.
Yeah.
You want success, to not shout. Shut up.
Okay, the last headline here
is... Or is it that they don't want to be known?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Okay.
The last headline here, Simba. Moi's land grab case spells doom for big thieves. Now, trouble awaits families of at least 3 No, this one is different. The land battle started in 2014 when the Chelgui family sued Moi and Jaswant Rai family owned Rai Plywood, seeking a return of property or compensation at prevailing market rates. Now, Justice Anthony Ombwayo in 2019 ordered Moi and Rai Plywood to pay the Chelgui family 1 billion shillings. Now, Moi challenged the decision at the Court of Appeal, sitting in Kisumu, but died with the appeal pending. That is a story on page, it is on page 7 of the Daily Nation. You can actually get a grab of that and, take a look at what that story is all about.
Pretty much. All right, let me cross over to the Standard this morning. I'm actually checking their online feed as well to see whether they've got any updated story that you may want to also grab should you want to get your online copy. This is what it says. Act now, Chebukati. Death, act now. Chebukati, death plot. No, it's actually act now on. Wow. Let's put up the newspapers so we can get to read it up together. This is following the president's revelation on alleged plot to abduct and murder IEBC chairman before the release of the 2022 presidential poll results. A section of leaders now want the head of state to set up a commission of inquiry to probe claims, while others fit outgoing electoral chief as a hero. Is it necessary, Amwai? Is that... There's some question that I've seen a section of leaders from the Azimio coalition ask: is it necessary? Are we going to act on rumors of a death plot, or are we going to act on the murder?
Now, this is the thing. I think it's very disturbing.
Yeah.
And, shocking to some extent to see the head of state, taking to the podium and just announcing this kind of revelations that say those are death, murder plots and, somebody wanted to kill Chebukati and all that. I don't think that is good coming from him to some extent as the head of state, because it's bringing a lot of tension to some extent, if you just look at it. And also, I believe he's actually in a position, to make sure that we have the right investigations done to unearth whatever was happening, so that we get to the bottom of it, as opposed to just coming to the media and shouting about it, so that what exactly do you want to do to the country? That's the thing. And also, when you start talking about this and people now start backtracking and saying, okay, so there's so many things that have been happening at the IEBC, and a lot of people have lost their lives from 2013 all the way to 2022. So what has been happening in regards to that? We have not seen the chair coming out and saying, by the way, I am demanding that we get justice for the likes of Chris Msando, and I've seen that actually taking center stage in regards to this for the commissioners that not commissioners but IBC officials that did die in the line of duty and all that. He has not been demanding for the same.
Yes.
So what is this that we are seeing right now? So where do we draw the how do we balance this act?
It's interesting, really, when you look at those two. That's the biggest headline that the Standard have prioritized this morning. Also, on the exit of EACC chair, that is Wabukala. Yeah, they're saying he exited as quietly as he came in. That's what they're saying. So I was telling you, Amwai, don't shout, just silently. But this
is the thing.
Direct translation, under the water.
You see, to some extent, it depends with what is it that you'll be known for, or what have you been doing? Because if you've been working, then the work will speak for itself.
Yeah.
But if we haven't seen that, then to some extent, and you decide to take a sit back and say, I don't want this all glamour and all that, then you'll just live the way you came in. This is the thing. Do you feel like there's been a change at the ESCC ever since he stepped into office and now that he's leaving?
No.
Yes.
With the deputy president telling even the likes of DCI to sit in their offices and stop troubling
So to some
people.
extent, you're not going to miss him?
Nah.
Okay.
Nah.
So because you didn't feel him?
Nah.
All right.
Like, how many cases am I? Some of them that they investigated, majority of them were dropped.
No.
And they sat back and did absolutely nothing. Look at the election. How many people did we question the integrity? They had a huge list.
We had a huge list.
Yeah, it was a huge
close
list.
To 40
majority people of them are now your leaders. In fact, all of them.
We had a huge list. And I remember doing the story. The story was about, they were blacklisted or red flagged or something like that.
They were blacklisted, but nothing. Amwai, nothing. Absolutely. Anyway, take a tiny breather. Again, once we come back, my brother and I will be taking you straight to what it is that you're talking about today. All right. Look Up TV across all your social media platforms. I am Kiage Simba, and that man right there on the other side of the studio is at Amwai Bride. All right, let's see what it is that you're talking about online in terms of your social trends this morning. And I want us to read it together. And we're going to start like this because I do know exactly what is trending. We've seen Jeremiah Kioni trending. We start from Babowino. And this is exactly what it is that we're talking about this morning, Amwai, where Babowino is saying that Chebukati must be arrested for election malpractice. And in 2017, that led to the death of Msando, Baby Pendo, and others. He should be hanged at Uhuru Park for rigging 2022 elections that led to the death. Watch the clip below for more information. Then he attached the clip, which I do not think that we want to watch right now. In fact, the next tweet is also linked to this. I just want us to see it together so then we can get to chat on it together with Amwai. This is Mother Karua. It's also touching on Chebukati. Why did Chebukati not disclose this to the court during the presidential petition, or better still, report the matter to the police? 6 months into the Ruto regime. It's not been 6 months, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's not been 6 months.
Yeah, it's been that long?
No, it's not been 6 months, is it?
Not yet.
into the rooted regime. Why has no action been taken if these allegations have any iota of truth?
5 months though. No,
It's
stress.
been
I think,
5 months?
I think she counted from August, but I think
from
you're counting
August.
from September when he
Okay.
was actually sold.
No, it could be 6 months, give or take.
Yeah.
Amwai,
Hey, half a year?
half a year.
I thought we just voted the other day.
We just looked at the 100 days
Wow.
into office the other day in December. 100 days is 3 months,
Okay.
isn't it? December to January cannot be another 100. Madagarua, do your math.
Nah. Nah.
Anyway, here's the thing though. That's what she's asking. 6 months, and you can see exactly what Baba Wino is also saying. Yeah, another member of the coalition saying the guy should be arrested and hanged at Uhuru Park. Your sentiments on that?
I think this is what I'm going to say. Like I started and just said that they are in a position to ensure that justice is served without having to shout about it. That's the thing. You understand?
Yeah.
So because I believe this is sensational to some extent, just trying to, I don't know what they want to achieve with this. Maybe, appeal to emotions and all that from Kenyans and things like that. But is it really necessary to be shouting about it? If at all there was, somebody's life was at risk and somebody was, there was an attempt to actually kidnap, that is, criminal to some extent, Simba.
Yeah.
It is something that should have been filed in court, and, reported the police station and actually have investigations done to be able to ascertain whether it was actually true or not, in pursuit of justice for Chebukati, if at all whatever he's claiming is actually true. So I go with Martha Karua.
Yeah.
Why do you have to wait this long in regards to this particular issue? Because it's not a joke. You cannot joke about somebody's life being, at risk, something like that.
Yeah. I will tell you that. But the thing is, though, but let's look at the next one. I also have a question for you. Once we look at this one together as well, I don't know, Twitter Center, is it ready? So we can get to look at it. This is it. This is Jeremiah Kiage, who's the SG, Jubilee Party. Was that we've seen that 55% of the constituencies cannot be verified with absolute certainty. But Amwai, what can be verified is that Raila Odinga won the elections with 8,170,355 votes, representing 57.53% of the votes cast. But then this new evidence, Amwai, that 59% of the constituencies cannot be verified.
They're talking about 144 constitutions.
That's
the
it.
thing.
Where were you with this evidence then, the other day when we were in?
This is the thing, to some extent. Just like we started, what did we say? We said maybe there needs to be more time when it comes to carrying out investigations. I know there was a lot of evidence provided and all that, but I don't think there was proper investigations and just gathering of that particular evidence to make sure that it goes and convinces the court. So when you sit down and start looking at it again, that's when you're like, oh, so this is what happened. In 144 constituencies, we had a difference when it comes to votes. This is exactly what they did, yada yada, and things like that. So maybe they needed this time to actually come up with that, but we cannot really verify and say whether this is true. To some extent, it is politics in this country, and nothing happens just for the sake of it.
Yeah. I'll tell you that. Anyway, just to be clear, Amwai, how do you define a crush?
A crush?
Oh,
depends.
When somebody comes and tells you, Amwai, I've got a crush on you. But wait, Bala, you just
no,
answer.
I don't know why I got excited with that question.
Hey, we gotta step out.
Listen.
You have seconds.
So a crush is, I'll pass.
You'll pass. You cannot describe it.
I don't know, do you have a description for that?
Maybe let me rephrase the question. Imagine you're married and with the wife and kids, and then some person comes and tells you, I've got a crush on you.
They like me.
Generally, they come and tell you that I've been having a crush on you for a very long time.
Yeah, they like me. They
It's
like
a crush.
me. They like me. There's nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Anyway, you want to learn more about that story? Our reporter Cecilia Lubanga did a story like that on Look Up TV's website. Just go right there on the news, go to entertainment, and see that particular story. Found it interesting. What is a crush? Amwai, when someone comes and tells you, I've got a crush on you, I've been crush on you for a very long time.
Yeah, they've been crushing on me. They once, to some extent, adore me. They like me. They like us to want to have a thing or something.
I wanted you to get there. That's why you should read that story. And once you're there, just you can even go to the website and just search crush. You will see it, and then please comment.
Yeah.
But all right, we do good stories on the website. So
Yeah,
I want you to
that's
look
the
at
thing. When somebody has a crush on you, you give them sleepless nights. Yeah. So you know.
What was that?
Anytime they're eating, they're fantasizing.
On that note.
Imagining a future together.
On that note, we take a tiny breather right here on the morning. But you can contribute. When somebody tells you I've got a crush on you, what does it mean in black and white terms? Without beating about the bush, what does it mean? All right, tell us right here on Look Up TV. My name is Simba Elijah Charles Kiage. In fact, you comment at Kiage Simba on Twitter or at Amwai brand. Once we come back, we'll be taking you straight to the newsroom where we get to tell you some of the biggest headlines that you are waking up to this morning as well.
Vera Beauty and Fashion College is focused on being the leading technical and vocational training institute in the region. Our team possesses in-depth knowledge and extensive experience in the industry, offering thorough training in cosmetology, hairdressing, interior design, creative arts, training of trainers, nail technology, and fashion design. With branches in Nairobi, Thika, Meru, Eldoret, and now in Mombasa, our courses ensure that learners are completely equipped with knowledge, competency, and employability skills. Enroll today to be a part of a center of excellence.
Do you need a dose of hope? If so, you are in the right place. We think of ourselves around here as hope dealers, delivering truth, power, and inspiration to hearts and minds all over the world. If nothing else has worked for you, why not give the God thing a try? For it's in the presence of God that you'll find everything that you need. Amen.
Mwangi's Institute of Cosmetology. We are TVET and NITA approved training institute in the following courses: School of Hairdressing and Beauty Therapy, School of Fashion Design, Event Management and Decoration, School of Interior Design and Beadwork, School of Advanced Nail Technology, and School of Makeup Artistry. We are located at Kim's Plaza, Equity Bank Building, 4th floor, Oginga Odinga Street, Eldoret. Call us on 0715-046-499 or email us at Mwangi's Cosmetology Institute at gmail.com. Mwangi's Institute of Cosmetology, empowering tomorrow's generation today.
Welcome back here on the program. Let's get you updated with the news making headlines. Now, the pretrial case facing 3 suspects on charges of gouging the eyes of a 3-year-old boy from Ikuruma village in Kisii County on December 2022 commenced on Wednesday. Now, the Kisii court ordered the Children's Department to continue offering accommodation until March 2nd, when the official trial will commence. Edwin John Mkora reports.
While being presented before Senior Magistrate Christine Ongweno, the three suspects are put on pre-trial to prepare them for the official trial in March 2023. However, the magistrate censored the media from covering the proceedings, saying it will infringe on the privacy of the victim.
So I have confirmed that there's been partial pre-trial that has been conducted today. The Children's Department is granted time to continue offering the victim and the minor psychological support and care. The court reaffirms the need and importance to protect the privacy of the minor's hearing. As a result, the media and all social media users are directed to avoid coverage that would in any way infringe upon the privacy of the minors and protect the privacy of the two minors.
The lawyer representing the Kisii County government also urged the court to exert its authority and ensure the minor's privacy is protected.
Your Honor, Section 19 of the Children's Act specifically outlines the right to privacy, subject to parental guidance. The Constitution, Article 53(1)(d), every child has the right to protection from abuse and neglect. Article 53(2), a child's best interest are of paramount importance in every matter concerning a child.
The suspects will remain on remand, facing attempted murder charges till the 2nd of March. Edwin John Mokora, Look Up TV.
Now, Jubilee Party Secretary General Jeremiah Kioni now says that he has found a new evidence revealing that Azimio One Kenya leader Raila Odinga won the last general election, as our reporter Shadow Kareria now reports.
The Azimio One Kenya coalition party is back again with vote rigging claims 5 months after the 2022 general election. While addressing the media in Nairobi County, the Jubilee Secretary General Jeremiah Kioni claimed to have received fresh information revealing how the 2022 general election results were manipulated against Raila Odinga.
Today, we have received information from a whistleblower. And a whistleblower who, unlike the others, has disclosed his address, his name, and whom you can reach at your own account or at your own time. The document that we have received we have seen on the phone is fairly voluminous.
According to the said fresh evidence, the Azimio leader Raila Odinga garnered 8.1 million votes, representing 57%, against William Ruto, who garnered 5.9 million votes, which is equivalent to 42% of the total vote cast.
59% of the constituency examined showed results that cannot be verified with absolute certainty. But again, in the same document, what has been verified so far shows that Raila won the elections with 8,170,355 votes, representing 57.53% of the votes cast by that, when that verification was done. Ruto got 5,915,973 votes, representing 41.66% of the votes.
According to Kioni, the rigging of vote mostly took place in Mount Kenya region.
What we have seen in one of the pages is that at one point, 144 constituencies had their results verified. And often at times, those resorts are far from the resorts that were announced by IEBC, 144 of them. Most of the manipulation that was done happened within the Mount Kenya region.
The politician blamed the Supreme Court for not granting their request of ordering the IEBC to open the servers. The politician stated that his leader, Raila Odinga, will issue his statement upon arrival in the country from South Africa. Shadrack Kareria, Look Up TV.
Now, the Naivasha Level 4 Hospital Board has been sent packing by the Health Executive member, Samuel Mwaura. Now, this comes after a 23-year-old mother lost her life after delivering at the facility.
Has come under scrutiny in recent days. Most recently, a couple of days ago, after Rebecca Wangari, a 23-year-old, bled to death after delivering at the facility.
There's been a general outcry of service delivery in this hospital for the last close to 2-3 years. And in the last 1 or 2 weeks, there has been an incident where the community has had an outcry. So we would say that the issues have been there, but they have culminated on an incident. So I want to assure the public and the community that we are working very hard to make sure that this outcry has been there is resolved and there is a smooth service provision to the public.
Speaking after disbanding the board, LCCM Samuel Mwaura noted that firing of the board was part of restructuring at the hospital and improving service delivery.
Emanating from that incident today, the governor has decided to dissolve the board of the hospital. A new board will be gazetted in the course of the week so that they take up that role better of making sure that they are the ambassadors of the community in the hospital. Because the role of the board is nothing else, apart from oversight, is to be the ambassador of the community in the hospital and also to be the ambassador of the hospital in the community. The board has a mandate of doing oversight. The board is drawn, ideally, if you look at the regulation, the board should be drawn from the community of residents or service provision. And therefore, that's why we had the governor promise that when she's reconstituting the boards, we are going to have boards constituted from people who reside within that community.
The disbandment of the board comes just a day after area residents staged demonstrations calling for justice for the deceased, saying her death was due to negligence at the facility.
Hiyo asubuhi vile alitupigia akatuambia anakufa usiku, hatukujua, alishinda akitupigia simu, tukamuuliza hapo hakuna madaktari wanapita wasimamishe. Atinajaribu kuwasimamisha, wanapita, akakuja akiwa amepitanisha, akiwa amevaa earphones, hata watusikizi. Unajaribu kusimamisha, amevaa earphones, anapita, haezi hata kuangalia.
The residents alleged mismanagement of the facility as one of the challenges facing the hospital.
Kuna kesi tumesikia zimehusiana na watu kupoteza maisha yao hapa. Mwaka jana tulikuwa na kesi ya mama mwingine wa Kenongi. Alikuja hapa akupewa attention na alipata mtoto kwa flow, huyo mtoto wake akapoteza maisha yake. Wamama wetu wanaumia hapa kwa hospitali na hakuna watu wa kuwaulizia.
Mwaura further say the county will hire more doctors to ensure that patients get proper service and avert such cases in future.
We don't have enough healthcare providers in our health facilities, and you realize that's one of the big, healthcare. The most important aspect of healthcare is the service provider, because even counseling or even preventive health services are health services. You can't do it without a healthcare provider. So I have to say that we have a huge shortage.
Ian Keitani, Look Up TV.
Now, the government has formulated child protection online and safety regulations following an increase in cases of cyberbullying and sexual exploitation targeting minors. Now, the program, which is an initiative of the Ministry of Labour in collaboration with the Communications Authority, is meant to protect children in their online activities.
With 67% of minors aged between 12 and 17 years in Kenya being internet users, and Kenya being among the top internet users countries in Africa, it has emerged that cases of sexual exploitation for commercial online trade were on the rise, thus prompting the government to formulate child online protection and safety regulations following an increase in cases of cyberbullying and sexual exploitation targeting minors.
And most of these perpetrators ask the children to give them their sexualized materials online. Some of them ask them to expose their nudity and they give them. What is emerging, it's a business. We have middlemen who use anybody, including domestic workers, to take photos of the innocent children and give out.
With children being easy targets, the initiative will help the government in monitoring children's activities and take action on predators who use children for pornographic material, thus affecting them psychologically and lowering their self-esteem.
This initiative is founded on the realization that as ICTs continue to shape our lives profoundly, there is a need to protect the vulnerable segments of society, particularly children, from the harmful effects of ICTs. As a regulator of the ICT sector, the authority has a duty to protect the consumers of various communication services by developing and implementing various interventions to safeguard consumers.
Edwin John Mokora, Look Up TV.
All right, now listen to this. There has been an uproar on social media about a self-proclaimed Jesus, an alleged prophet in Bungoma County who has managed to command a following of believers who believe he is the one after God's own heart. Now, the self-proclaimed prophet believes he is the right teacher of the word, and he runs a church with 12 other prophets. One of his most controversial prophecies is saying Kenya will consume all the countries in the world in the next 460 days. Now, take a look at this particular story from Bungoma.
Controversial self-proclaimed Jesus of Tongaren, as known by many in Lohowe region, Bungoma County.
2009, kuanzia 2008, 2009, sauti ikasema hivi, mwanangu, utukuzwe duniani kwa miaka 77. Sahau hilo jina.
Hapa naamini ya kwamba tunaposema salamu za Yesu, sisi wote amina. Watoto nao
One of the most recent controversial miracles he says he has performed was turning water into tea. We arrived at his home. Here, staunch believers keen to master the religion so as to live according to the expectations of their master. According to what we gathered, these are prophets who have been fasting for days.
Malaika Naftali, miongoni mwa nyota 12, usawa na nabii Yakobo. Asifiwe Mwokozi. Amina.
What captures attention are the numerous houses in his home that, according to him, it serves a critical purpose. We got a chance to attend one of the services, a completely different setup from what is commonly known to many. As he preached, he was surrounded by 12 of his prophets, 6 seated on each side.
Hata wakati uno tunaona mpaka waandishi wa habari nao wanaingia kwenye hema. Lazima dunia itajua Yesu amerejea. Salamu za Yesu.
After the service, Jesus of Tongaren leads his congregation who follow him around the church 7 times in songs and jubilation. In a sit-down with the self-proclaimed Jesus, he began his course in 2009 after he was filled by the Holy Spirit. In his statement, he is the legal teacher of the word.
Sheria ya kwanza, mtu akiingia mahala hapa atii sapato. Sheria ya pili, silazimishi mtu kuniita Yesu. Wale wanaoniita Yesu wametokezewa na Mungu. Fuata laini ya siri. Hawa ukiwaona wenye mavazi hawa, wingu limeshuka wakashuhudia. Mfano nimetaja mama, ameona maajabu. Ameona maajabu. Mpaka siku moja akaniambia, kumbe hii ndio mimi nilikuanga kwetu nikiwa mtoto, ni mchana napika nduru naona jua inakuja inakaa kwa miguu yangu.
He narrates what it takes to serve as a prophet.
Imeandikwa kwa Walawi 11:6 kuendelea. Walao nguruwe wote pia sehemu yao ni jehanamu na sungura. Hawapaki lipstick. Hawaweki pete ya harusi mkononi, hiki kipete hiki. Ring. Pete ni Biblia. Maana inasema malasi iheshimiwe. Ndoa na iheshimiwe, usimtamani mume wa mwingine wala mke wa mwingine. Lakini haka kapete ni chapa ya mnyama. Vikitengenezwa vikimalizika, mizimu hutoka kwa Red Sea na Pacific Ocean inaitambikia ndio iwekwe kwa viwanda kwa matuka. Imetia ndani japa muhuri wa mnyama.
The wife had this to share.
Mimi tangia Yesu tuanze kuishi pamoja na yeye, maisha imekuwa sawa. Sijaona jambo lolote ambalo li kinyume. Hakuna mpapa wala mama, wote ni roho. Na roho ya Nabii Benjamini imo ndani mwangu, ndio inayetenda kazi ndani mwangu. Ndiposa naitwa Nabii Benjamini. Kwa maana Baba Mungu hana mpaka yoyote kule juu mbinguni. Wale waliopigana vita na wakashinda, wakaitwa watakatifu, kwake Baba Mungu ni kazi tu moja.
Jesus of Tongaren is not the first self-proclaimed Messiah in the region. The late Jehovah Wanyonyi was quite popular, commanding a following of thousands of the residents who believed he was the actual Messiah. Cecilia Lubanga, Luka.
Right, I just like to make it clear that yes, I also come from that particular part of this country, and in terms of changing water into tea, I don't think we do that every morning. Come on, changing water into tea. I think where I'm a little bit confused is how this country is going to swallow the rest of the countries. But as a Luya, and changing water into tea it's something we do. So yeah, so for the believers also, they say Jesus will come in different forms. So don't be so quick to doubt this. Now, away from that. Despite his dreams of becoming the president of the Republic of Kenya, receiving major frustrations from the IEBC, Karera Muthiora has not given up his ambitions, and he is determined to give it another try in 2027 general elections. But who is this man? Our reporter Shadow Karera spoke to him, and here is the story.
Despite receiving major political blows, which threatened to shut his political career, Muthiora Karera has not given up.
So, yes, it's not going to be a walk in the park, but then we are ready for the job that needs to be done.
Muthiora is a youthful politician with ambitions of becoming the president of the Republic of Kenya, and has since been in leadership even during his school days.
Shuleni nilikuwa ni kiongozi. Nilivotoka shule ya upili na kujiunga na chuo kikuu Nairobi, nikawania uongozi pale chuoni. Nilikuwa mimi ni katibu wa michezo na burudani katika baraza la SONU. I was in the executive of SONU. Mwaka wa kwanza ambao chuo kikuu cha Nairobi kilienda bila ya kuwa na mgomo wowote.
Karera's political journey kick-started in 2017 when he attempted to contest for presidency, after which the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission (IEBC) turned down his quest, where he opted to run as the running mate.
In 2017, I did not make it as far as I did in 2022.
Muthiora, however, did not give up his dreams. He tried again in the last election, where he was once again frustrated by the IEBC by declining to clear him for not meeting the required threshold.
In 2022, the election was run under new laws that required that for a presidential candidate to be cleared, they needed to have ID copies for at least 2,000 supporters in at least 24 counties. We did manage to reach out to almost 65,000 Kenyans to give us signatures, as is required by our constitution. Where we fell short, however, was giving copies of their IDs on time. But by the time we were showing up at Bomas, that was the 6th of June, we had worked around this deficit of ID copies that was required. And if you may recall from the scenes that happened on that day, we gave our documents to the National Returning Officer, Wafula Chebukati.
After the incident, Muthiora created a scene at the Bomas of Kenya, where he allegedly burned his voter's card.
Ilinivunja moyo wakati huo kwamba haki zangu zilikuwa zimekiukwa. Nikaanzisha moto, ndiyo nilichukua kiberiti na nikawasha moto Bomas, lakini sikuchoma kitambulisho changu. Nina kitambulisho ambacho kilinisaidia hata kwenye uchaguzi ambao ulifanyika Agosti 9.
Mudhora feels that his rights were violated by the IEBC, stating that the 2022 general election was not free and fair. Despite the challenges, Mudhora still believes that one day his determination will yield good fruits in the future as he plans to popularize his political party, which will propel him in the 2027 general election.
So going forward, given the very difficult lesson that I learned last year, where all independent presidential candidates were barred from running in that election, the people who support me felt it was wise to come together under an umbrella of a political party.
Shadrack Kareria, Look Up TV.
All right, now thank you, Shadrack Kareria, for that story. Speaking to Mudhora Kareria, who wanted to be, to vie for the presidency in this country, but it did not come to, life. Now, listen. I want to take a few comments in regards to the story that you did there, our Jesus back in Western Kenya. Let's compete favorably. Dr. Walsh shouldn't scare us neither, Ezekiel nor several Kikuyus in the industry. Let's improve on our dressing code. Less people think we are bang addicts or mad becoming. This is William Kai. Just, it's making it look like an industry when it comes to miracle performance and all that, that particular story. Some, no, don't call us a gullible community. Come on. We are good people. The sign of the end of times, false prophets will emerge. Yeah, that okay, believer. Even me, I always turn water into tea every day. This is Wilberforce Mukoya. That's also a miracle that we are just about to go perform here when we say goodbye here on the Morning Drift. Simba Elijah Charles Kiage will be coming later on with a discussion. He'll be telling you exactly on what in just a few. My name is Brian Amwai. Thank you so much for your time. Let's go turn some water into tea.
Vera Beauty and Fashion College is focused on being the leading technical and vocational training institute in the region. Our team possesses in-depth knowledge and extensive experience in the industry, offering thorough training in